Hello, my name is Carol Barbeau, and I want to welcome you to a new year. So, Happy New Year! To me, astrology is a philosophy, it's a belief, but I always add to everyone if you have a feeling, if you have intuition, if you have a desire to do something different, that is what you should follow, far above anything astrological. 2010, numerology wise, is a number 3 year, which is about learning, knowledge, connection to other people. And astrologically, it's a little bit of a confusing year. Myself and other astrologers are having a real problem putting this into perspective to where it's understandable. So maybe it's not supposed to be understood. Maybe this is the whole philosophy of this year, is to take us quite a bit out of the head, out of the planning, out of the being so sure that we have all the answers, and into being open to the dream of creating more than perhaps we thought that we could have. So we began this year with a very interesting lunar eclipse on December 31st. So New Year's Eve, we welcomed in 2010 with an eclipse in Cancer, which is about healthy self-care, and Capricorn, which is about achievement for the world and what we desire to create. We also began the year with Mercury, the planet of communication, in a retrograde pattern. Now, we know planets don't really go backwards, but from our perspective here on Earth, due to the ecliptic path of the sun, occasionally planets appear to go backwards. Mercury makes approximately 3 to 5 retrogrades a year. This year it will retrograde 4 times in Earth signs. So contrary to believing that this is a time that you should do nothing, this is a time you should reassess, realign, reconnect, repair, review, reinitiate. So Mercury retrogrades can actually be a very good time. Maybe not the time that I would go buy a new car or start a new business, but there's a lot of very good things that can be done with this time. So as we entered the year with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, now you know I just said we had an eclipse in Capricorn, we also have Pluto, the planet that's the evolutionary journey of the soul, in Capricorn. So this Capricorn energy is very strong now. Mars, which is about action, went retrograde in September in the sign of Leo. And my personal take on this is it's trying to reconnect us to that heart energy, to that passion of Leo. Many of you may have noticed a little bit of increase in the frustration level, a little bit of a feeling of anger for some people, because Mars is the planet of anger. But if you will take this and look for the things that make you passionate, look for the things that open your heart energy, you're going to discover that 2010 is going to be a great year. Because until May 13th, we're dealing with this energy. Mars is going to go direct in March, but it's going to remain in something called a shadow from 0 to 19 degrees of Leo. So this is a very important energy. The other part of 2010 that's a little less easy to talk about always happens when major planets slip out of one sign and into another. Because of the ecliptic path of the Earth, it appears that that planet goes back into the sign it was in. So we have Jupiter, which is expansion, belief, faith, kind of the supersizer of the zodiac, joining up with Uranus, which is change, in April. Now, this is going to increase your dreams, increase your visions, increase ideas. It's a really fascinating energy, allowing you to kind of reconnect with Source. Maybe learn meditation, take some downtime, process maybe a little bit more on a spiritual level. These two planets stay together all year, but they shift signs, as in May, Uranus, which is change, goes into Aries. And by June, we have something called a cardinal cross of energy. So a lot of astrologers are going to be talking about the negatives of this, because it's like getting up in the morning and having 4 things that have to be done at the same time. What do? You handle this every morning. You just prioritize. What is the most important? Take care of one thing at a time rather than feeling pulled in four directions. A cardinal cross is two sets of planets in opposition with each other, which means that these planets are making something called squares. So a square can be handled very easy. It's an aspect of being kind of caught in a box, and the only thing you have to do to get out of the box is shift your perception. So shifting your perception. 2010 is going to be a marvelous year if you can get into the dream and the vision. Recognize that when planets move into Aries and you think you're ready to go, maybe you don't have all the facts, all of the details, all of the connections you need for this. Because Saturn, which is about accountability, again, another big major shift. This planet's now in Libra, which is about relationships, and it slips back into Virgo. By July, we're going to see Saturn again ready to re-enter Libra, Uranus in Aries, the South Node in Cancer, and Pluto in Capricorn, creating this cardinal cross, which is going to ask you to Cancer, take better care of yourself. Time to really do some healthy self-care. Capricorn and Pluto, transformation out there. What are you supposed to be doing out in the world? Saturn in Libra is a very good aspect. This is time for you to find people who will help you make your dream into reality. So we have Uranus in Aries, Saturn in Libra, the South Node in Cancer, and Pluto in Capricorn, creating this energy which wants us to achieve for the world, make new connections with other people, at the same time take better care of ourselves. And I think we can all do that, don't you? And I think that by the time that we reach December of this year, and you find Uranus, the planet of change, and Jupiter, expansion, back in the sign of Pisces again, we enter the energy of 2011 with a lot more connection to spirit, connection to source. This may not be the year that you go and you create exactly what you want, but I'm going to bet this is the year that if you'll get out there and begin creating, you're going to create something better. So we all have an intention or a vision or an idea of what we want this year to be. And if you hold to that vision, to that connection to source, to that divine spark, even though the outcome doesn't look exactly like what you thought it would, you're going to discover something much better in 2010 than you could have imagined possible. So stay flexible, stay loose. Please don't try to force or push things this year. And if you will do this, I promise you will have a good year and a very, very connected to source year for yourself. Happy New Year.